Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor.
Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor.
9 GTO, letting everybody know the KC9VKV approximately 13 minutes.
Well, there's somebody.
Oh, there we go. This is N9 GTO, KC9VKV Vlogs, and Mr. Ferguson will be on in 12 minutes.
There you go. Sounding good this way.
You're sounding good also. You're 40 over on the antenna, laying on the ground. That's what I'm transmitting on now.
Oh, really? What's your SWR?
It's a 10 to 1, but I got a tuner in line. I got this big old 9 Viking, and it's tuned it all out there, over.
Man, are you up to snuff?
Can't run any power, RF will come back, but I'm putting out 100, 200 watts, over.
Roger, well, you're 10 over here, for sure, Roger.
Roger. Yeah, I'm putting out maximum smoke of this 7760 will put out, and it's about 200 watts.
Oh, let's not talk about smoke.
Oh, no, I don't need any smoke out over here. I've done cut enough smoke out, Jimmy. I let the smoke out of something the other day, and I had to order some new smoke to put in it.
Roger. You know, I wonder what the, at a kilowatt, I wonder what the circulating voltage would be at the tip of a quarter wave of a dipole.
I believe around 6,000 volts, over.
Roger. Now I have, you know, that long 80-meter antenna out of TV transmission line did come, let's see, it wrapped around at one point a limb just right before it terminated into an insulator. But it ran across a limb right before it got to the insulator, and I did take it down one time to do something, and I noticed that there were burns right where the transmission line antenna crossed that limb, Roger?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Now, Jimmy, I don't know if Teresa will let me do this, but I would propose this. First of all, I'd like to take 120 feet of wire over and top the tree with a drone with weedier string to pull it back up, a really good gauge of wire. And then I'd like to run another wire on top of the roof back and forth in a zigzag configuration as a counterpoise, and then have a tuner to tune it up. And I'd like to compare an A-B comparisons of how well it receives, over.
Roger. Now, you know, I'm not running any kind of balun up there, so I have a multitude of ground planes already in the air. You know, I have 5 different dipoles up there, Roger.
But Jimmy, we need one more.
Well, I'm sure. Sorry, we're 360 degrees, and if you have five dipoles, there's always room for one more.
Exactly, Jimmy. We can have one tied into the other. We can tie that big piece of wire. You know, you can have 100 antennas tied to one antenna at one coax, and it all will go to the antenna that's closest to the resonant frequency, over.
Roger. Now, I do have, on this one, I have no standing wave, no perceivable standing wave, so I wouldn't want to mess with this one too much, Roger.
You have a 1-to-1, a 1-to-1, Jimmy, because the meaning of no standard wave means you're not transmitting, over.
Well, gosh, I can't see it in reverse. That's what I'm saying.
I can't see it in reverse neither. Oh, by the way, I found another little field strength meter I need to get to you.
Oh, man, I got a collection of those.
Oh, you do? Is that Lou Hinkle guy good giving you a few of them?
Yeah, I think I got 4, 3 or 4 anyway. I got one right here beside me that's looking at the SB220.
A good deal. Yeah, I know that Lou guy. He's a character. He's a character. And he's got 9 personalities. You never know which one you're talking to.
Roger. Well, you know, those old CB SWR bridges are plenty good down into, you know, 14.7 megs and all through there, because they're good all the way up to 21 megs, all the way up to 10 meters.
Well, the one I got will go down to 160 meters, and it's made for CV. It says CV on it, Spark-O-Matic. But I've had it on 160 before with 10 watts to it. That's, setting the SWR as a bridge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So they're mighty good, and they're really good for field strength with that little antenna there. Hopefully you wouldn't need more than what that little antenna is, but you could always add more antenna if you needed to. But you certainly can track down hotspots in your your shack for sure.
Well, Jimmy, just so you mentioned that, I found an insulator on a pole in Clarksville one time. It was arcing real bad. You could see that meter going and I knew right then and there, because I had a pretty good sized antenna on there. I made a little homemade loop, a 10-inch diameter loop. And I was walking around, and all of a sudden I picked it up. Like, all right. So I called them up and told them. They came out with a bucket truck and changed the insulator out.
Roger. I've had real good luck with Duke, I guess it is.
That's the name of the utility company that robs us every month.
Even without a mask.
What's that now?
I said even without a mask.
Oh, yeah. They're related to the guy in Washington, D.C. Are over.
I hear you now. Things are at the crest of a new beginning, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. We've already deported 800 bad guys that were robbing and raping and stealing money out of the bank. And they got them on a C-130, sending them back to Guatemala, Catamato, or Venezuela, wherever they're from. And we also caught a spy from Turkey. We called him as well. So the Operation Cleanup is doing pretty well. I just hope they get rid of FEMA, because we didn't have FEMA in 2002. We didn't have FEMA around. We got FEMA now, and over 9,000 employees doing nothing, walking around saying they're fire marshals. Over.
Yeah, roger. This is KC9VKV with just a heads up. The regular Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network will be starting in 5 minutes at 3:30 on this frequency.
And N9 GTO will be riding the sidecar today. I won't be commenting on anything, but I will be in the beginning of the intro and the very ending of the intro.
Roger. So you lost that antenna, man. I lost my antenna up to the top of the tree there because I was working. There was a problem with that 80-meter antenna, and it was that one side of it just was a slant up to the top of that tree, and so it. Periodically I would be determined to bring that SWR down because it was, pretty bad. And so I was working up my, I decided that I would eventually, work on it that day. And I had some of those tie wraps, and I was using the tie wraps to elongate the antenna and such. And when I bent it back, I would use a tie wrap to hold it, but not too tight, and all of a sudden there was a slip, and I did lose my position up on the top of the tree, so I had to go to almost the lowest limb, which meant that antenna was pretty much horizontal to the ground with the other side of that dipole antenna, and all of a sudden my SWR went down to nothing. And it was there was a decided difference between the one side of the antenna and the other side as far as vertical difference to the ground. The one side was went much higher than the other side, so it was really hard to strike a balance. And then when I lost it and had to go to that lower limb, it was just exactly what it was looking for, Roger.
Well, yeah, I know you're real critical on that, but see, if we can get a blow of 3 to 1, and it's 125 feet to 130 feet long, that's more than 2 wavelengths, if not 3 wavelengths long here on the van. So if I go up and over the tree with some RG75 all copper, which I have several thousand feet of it, all copper, and bring it down, and then bring it into the home with about 10 turns on the choke, and have a counterpoise going across the roof, wow. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Roger, Roger. Just remember that insulation, though, will break down if it runs across something that runs across the tail end of that dipole or whatever it is.
We seal that up with silicone, sir. We short it out and dip it in some solder, and we seal it up with silicone so that the high voltage node is not there. It's being hidden. Over.
Well, I used a garden hose sleeve over that section, Roger.
Roger, that'll work as well. But I have what they call heat shrink tubing, and this heat shrink tubing is pretty good. If I'd taken, well, it's a long story. I won't go there. But anyway, Jimmy, you have a good one. This is N9GTO saying 73s. I'll be listening throughout the conversation. And if any time anybody wants to get in there and verify something, I'll be gladly sure to do so. N9GTO listening.
Roger, Roger. Catch you in a short. And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I'm net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the best sounding station possible. And today we're currently featuring over 3,300 Qso-Vlog AIRCHECK recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. And we also have a newer series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting, a 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that we have all the actual masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher level of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 5 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia specifically. And in addition, we're running our newer number 5 Hocus Pocus Internet SDR receiver, loaded with 50 additional pre-programmed Internet SDR locations spread out over 20 states across the eastern half of the United States. Try and get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now, the audio from these 5 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also in the selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas. One aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. These are run as a directional scanner array with a manual voting system 6-position rotary selector. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR, specially oriented resonant tuned dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant tuned dipole antenna runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. As we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA-5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their band pass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now, with all that being said, let's open it up and see who's out there. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.
To shout.
I got the last part of that Alpha Bravo whiskey. Try one more time. I'll tell you what, why don't you give me about 10 or 15 seconds. Tell me about your antenna system, and let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
My antenna.
Doing a little work on my antenna, and I remembered about the net, so I thought I'd come in and done a trim on it. I thought maybe I'd just tune into here and see what you thought. But it's Whiskey 7, Alpha Bravo Whiskey.
Roger, Whiskey 7, Alpha Bravo Whiskey, and you wanted to check out something with your antenna system, is that a Roger?
Check out something with your antenna system, is that a Roger? Well, actually, I didn't really have any traffic or nothing. I just came in. I've been trimming on it a little bit after the ice storm and trying to get it just a little bit more for its resonance. We just whittling on it just a tad, and I thought I'd just come in and see if the band connection would work out.
Roger.
Roger, Roger. Well, I just flipped over to my local antenna. You were about 10 clicks above my noise level, but I'd just been there, so I guess Mother Nature's kind of ebbing and flowing there. But I'll stay on my local antenna because that was really outstanding when I came to that one. Roger, Roger.
QSL, Jim. And really, I don't really have anything. I just thought I'd say good afternoon to you. Can't believe it. I talked to you last Friday, and all of a sudden I looked down at Friday. Don't ask me what I did. I can tell you what I was doing in 1967, but I can't tell you what I did last week, Roger.
Hey, Roger that. Well, what's the name there?
Robert, or Bob. Probably Bob. Bravo, Oscar Bravo. Rolla, Missouri. I went over and you can check out my page or my bio there on QRZ. Anyway, if you think band conditions probably aren't conducive for you to give me a decent check, other than if we're talking back and forth, then that means I didn't screw it up. Over.
Roger, Bob. Well, I'm looking at the spectrum analyzer, and you're just wall to wall on the frequency response of your transmitter there, so it really looks good. And it looks also good dynamically that you're about 3 dB dynamic range, and that equates to 80 to 85% of peak modulation. Roger.
Oh, QSL. Yeah, as usual. I mean, you're 5.9 plus here in Missouri, and thanks again for helping me go through and kind of fine-tune the 7300. I wrote down all your tips and went back and checked and double-checked my settings and got this thing all dialed in. I sure appreciate it.
Yes, sure. Well, you know, that 7300 is just so amazing. It's just such a beautiful radio. And it's just hard to find one that doesn't sound great. I mean, and I think Bob Heil did such a beautiful job working on that 7300 and the 7610 as far as the mic is concerned, which is that beautiful, comes stock with a condenser hand mic, electret hand mic, and it's just just a beautiful radio, stock off the shelf, and you have to spend a couple of $100 to get a desk mic or something to get better situation than that stock hand mic. QSL.
I have the ICM, and I am familiar with the Bob Heil story, all the way back to rock and roll days. But anyway, that was very nice. I was going through some of your archives and actually found an episode with you visiting with Bob. Kind of took me back a little bit, and it brought back a lot of memories, and I'm certainly grateful.
Roger, yes, that was really one of the highlights in my career. Bob Heil checked in one afternoon, and we were chatting, and he, during the chat, said that my work was impeccable, and I just, couldn't. Well, it just blew me away because he was just a great guy. Roger.
QSL, as he was. Anyway, I'll get out of here and let somebody else jump in. I'm going to continue to. I'll be here for another about 20 minutes here in the shop, and I'll listen in, see if I can pick up some good dope. And in the meantime, I'll say 7 threes, and if I don't visit with you anymore today, then have a great weekend. And as always, I know where to catch you on Friday. QSL.
Roger, Bob. Now, where are you located, sir?
Rolla, Missouri, halfway between St. Louis and Springfield on 44.
Roger, beautiful job. And what's the radio that you're running there?
The ICOM 7300 with the Heil ICM microphone. Right now, I'm on a resonant dipole antenna.
Roger, Roger. Well, you have reached certain levels of 10 over, 10 to 12 over my noise level. So that's just beautiful. I don't copy a bunch out of the West, but I remember your last week or the week before when you checked in, it was about 3 dB or 4 dB over my noise level. So this is about twice as good as last week, Roger.
Well, very good. I don't know, you know, I guess you get to a point where you kind of have to compromise just a little bit. I don't think I'm going to trim, or I don't think I'm going to be doing anything with the antenna now. I think I just leave everything alone. Yeah, I'm kind of falling back to the old cliche, and I don't really like cliches, but if it isn't broke, don't fix it, Roger.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't touch that one at all. It's just a beautiful antenna doing you a great job, Bob. So let me say 73 to you, sir, and you have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. And if you want to check that your signal, you know, we're recording now, so if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3300, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow.
Very good, thank you. And thank you for all you do for us, Jim. We sure appreciate it. Thanks for all your years of dedicated service to broadcasting, and there's an awful lot of information out on that you can find on you. I didn't have to dig very deep to find out a lot about you, so, and I appreciate that. I'm not too far from you, really, and if I get over there in your neck of the woods over by the river, I'll give you a shout. Maybe we can get a soda or something.
Roger, Roger, Bob. 73, sir. We'll catch you later. And happy hunting. This is the Qso-Vlog net for Friday afternoon. And if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Give me a shout.
Roger, this is Kilowatt 9, Zulu, Sierra.
K9 Zulu Sierra. What's the name there?
K9 Zulu Sierra. What's the name there?
My name is Don, Delta Oscar November.
Roger, copy. That is Dawn. And whereabouts are you located, Dawn?
Roger, copy. That is Don. And whereabouts are you located, Don?
Well, sir, we are just outside of Indianapolis, Indiana. We're in the same state.
Roger, Don. And what radio is that you're running today?
Roger, Don. And what radio is that you're running today?
Well, sir, this is a 40-year-old Kenwood TS530 SP, only 100 watts, and the microphone is really quite a joke, but I just wondered what you thought about the audio.
Okay, so let me see if I can get a better copy on you. If you would, why don't you tell me about your antenna system for about 10 or 15 seconds, and I'll look around and see if I can find a better copy on this, Roger.
15 seconds, and I'll look around and see if I can find a better copy on this, Roger.
Roger. The antenna is the apex of it is about 25 feet off the ground, fed with some El Cheapo 300 ohm twin lead. Not anything to get excited about.
Roger there, Don. I've got a good copy on you on my local antenna. You look to be about 15 over. That microphone sounds pretty tinny, though. What kind of microphone is that?
You'll probably get a laugh out of this. I've been using the same microphone for the 40 years, and it started out as a Kenwood, D104, which I got at a ham fest for about $1. Took it home, cleaned it up, and stripped out the element and the electronics out of it, and replaced it with an element out of a RADIOLAND micro cassette recorder mic is what it is.
Roger. Well, you know it. Like I say, it's really mid-rangey, extremely mid-rangey. Would you like to try to broaden it out some?
I don't know what we can do. I've never used the processor processor in this radio. When I first got it years ago, I remember somebody saying, try it without the processor function, and because it always sounded a lot better.
All right. Well, let's see. How old did you say that radio was?
Oh, it's right at 40 years of age.
Okay, so it's probably a 300 to 2600 band pass, something like that. So what we can do, does it have any onboard EQ?
Not familiar with the term there. It does have a processor, like I said, that I never used.
Roger. Equalization. Does it have any equalization to it?
Negative. Nothing that fancy.
Okay, so let's see what we can do as far as maybe trying to work that microphone a little bit closer, see if we can get some bass buildup going on it. Roger?
If you mean physically closer, me getting closer to it, I'm crowding it right now.
Are you right up in it right now?
Yeah, my mustache is touching it.
Oh, it sounds a little bit better there that way. It's got a little more drive to it, but it does sound just has a little more bass to it than where it was. You know, as you get closer or further back from the microphone, it's called the proximity effect. And as you get closer to the microphone, you have a rising bass characteristic for your audio. And as you get further away, it loses that bass the further back you get, Roger. So I'm trying to get you as much bass as I can and still, you know, not maybe get a lot of mouth noise in it, Roger.
I run at about a 7. I could crank it up a notch, I suppose. What that does.
Well, let's try this first. You say it does have a processor?
Oh, listen, let's try this first. You say it does have a processor?
Yes, it has a processor function. But like I said,
I'll tell you what, why don't you go ahead and insert the processor, and if it has a control number on it, we want it in at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. We just want a third of that compressor processor. So a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger?
Okay, the processor is now engaged. It's simply a push button. The only thing I could do is change mic volume. I could also back away from the mic quite a bit.
That would be defeating the purpose. Go ahead and turn the processor off. We'll just run without it there. You probably, ultimately may need to get another microphone. I mean, that really is pretty tinny, and, mics today are pretty inexpensive. I would, but you've got that one stuck in a D104, Roger? Well, it's true then. So I would just try another element as opposed to the one that's in there. And if you let's see, if you could get a windscreen to fit over the lollipop part of that D104, then you could work that mic any way you wanted to, Roger.
Roger. Well, I might look into something like that. I'm not. I have so many hobbies here. I don't spend a whole lot of money on ham radio, but I might look into something like that. I appreciate the advice.
Yeah, Roger. I think you could probably spend $5, $6, $10 and get an element that is linear, pretty well linear through the mid-range, and then we could take care of it by proximity effect on the rest of it to get you a nice signal, Roger.
Roger. Well, thank you much. I got a Qso-Vlog K9VKV where.
Roger, Roger, Don. Well, 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And if you want to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, it will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3300, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So 73 there, Don. We'll catch you later. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Oh, you want to check out, give me a shout.
KC9VKV, this is W3IMD, Whiskey 3, India, Mike Delta, over.
I got that station with India Mike in it. Give me that call sign slowly, phonetically one more time.
Give me that call sign slowly, phonetically one more time.
Sure thing. Whiskey 3, India, Mike Delta. Whiskey number 3, India, Mike Delta. Copy. Over.
Whiskey 3, India Mike Delta, Roger. And what's the name there?
Whiskey 3, India Mike Delta, Roger. And what's the name there?
The name is
Copy, the name is Bill. And Bill, where are you located, sir?
Copy, the name is Bill. And Bill, where are you located, sir?
Bill. Over.
I'm sorry, we doubled Bill. Where are you located, sir?
I'm sorry, we doubled Bill. Where are you located, sir?
We're in Wake Forest, North Carolina, just close to Raleigh, North Carolina. Over.
Roger that, Bill. And what radio are you running today?
Roger that, Bill. And what radio are you running today?
ICOM IC7300. I'm usually EW about 99.9% of the time, but we check out the sideband of it and see what the audio is like. Over.
Roger, Roger, Bill. Well, I got you on my Georgia antenna for whatever reason, sounding pretty good down in Georgia. And if you're interested in that setup procedure, first thing would be to check your transmit bandwidth, your TVW. We're looking for 100 to 2900 on your transmit bandwidth, Roger.
100 to 2900 on your transmit bandwidth, Roger.
Roger, I just switched over. That's my wide bandwidth. I just switched over to that right now. Go ahead.
Excellent, excellent. And that is such a beautiful setting because it lets you reach all the parameters that transmitter can as far as its fidelity, and then gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. So great there. And then onto your compressor on at a 3 on that 7300, Roger.
On at a 3 on that 7300, Roger.
Roger, compression is off right now. Let me switch it to on. Okay, compression is on at this point. Is there any difference? Over.
Oh yeah, now that you're using the supplied hand mic, is that a Roger?
Oh yeah, now that you're using the supplied hand mic, is that a Roger?
That's a Roger.
Okay, I want you to pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it. Do not talk directly into it. Pull it to your corner of your lips and actually touch the corner of your lips and talk across it.
The corner of your lips and actually touch the corner of your lips and talk across it.
Okay, we're just touching the lips now, and it's at 90 degrees to me right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Copy. Over.
So maybe pull it back a little bit further towards the corner of your lips. I could hear just a little bit more voice noise there, but when you get to the right place, you will have no mouth noise, Roger.
The right place, you will have no mouth noise, Roger.
Okay, I moved it a little farther back. It's a little farther away. See if this makes any difference. Go ahead.
That's ideal. That's perfect. So now we've got that compressor in there at a 3, and let's move to our ALC now and set up our modulation. As you look at your ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and you say the magic word audio, and don't stress it, just say it as you would say any other word in a QSO, and adjust your mic level control until your ALC meter is running 2/3. Roger?
Until your ALC meter is running 2/3. Roger? Okay, I can see the ALC on the meter here. I'll switch over the micro level control. I'm not sure where that is since I don't normally work phone on this rig. Go ahead.
It's down in settings. And the menu button, the rectangular button at the lower left side of the display, takes you to Set, which takes you to Tone Control, which takes you to Transmit, which takes you to Sideband, Transmit EQ Settings, and that's where we want to be. Roger, Roger?
EQ settings, and that's where we want to be. Roger, Roger? Roger. Okay, go to sideband to TBW wide, 100 to 2900. That's where I am right now.
Okay, so you're working on that the menu button. The rectangular button at the lower left side of the display takes you to Set, which takes you to Tone Control. Does that do that?
Set, which takes you to Tone Control. Does that do that? Yes, it did.
Okay, then from Tone Control, which takes you to Transmit, Roger, and then Single Sideband, and Transmit EQ Settings, Roger?
Sideband, and Transmit EQ Settings, Roger? Okay, I go to single sideband. When I hit that one, it goes to TBW wide. Let's see if I have any other selections here.
You should have a page, tone control page right there, right after Set, which takes you to Tone Control.
After Set, which takes you to Tone Control.
Which takes you to Transmit, Single Sideband, and Transmit EQ Settings.
Transmit, Single Sideband, and Transmit EQ Settings. What's the second word? Transmit, what type settings?
EQ Settings, the Transmit Equalization page. Should be treble and bass equalizer controls. Roger?
Be treble and bass equalizer controls. Roger? Okay, that doesn't show up on my setup here. I go single sideband, and then I have my selection of transmit, bass, treble, and wide and narrow.
That transmit bass treble is what we're talking about. That's called equalization. So that's what we're going to work with, that treble equalization, transmit bandwidth, not transmit bandwidth, but equalization, treble, and bass. Roger?
Transmit bandwidth, but equalization, treble, and bass. Roger? Roger that. Roger.
Okay, so treble, I want you to go +4, additional to where you are at the moment. +4 clicks boost on your treble EQ from where you are.
Clicks boost on your treble EQ from where you are. Okay, we're at +4 at this point. I was at +2. It's now +4.
Roger that. And what's your bass setting at the moment?
Roger that. And what's your bass setting at the moment? 0.
All right, and tell me about the best thing you like about your radio in about 15 seconds.
The best thing you like about your radio in about 15 seconds. It's very flexible. It's very easy to use. I can go to the digital modes very easily, and for CW, it's got good noise suppression, and it's just an outstanding rig overall.
Oh, that's just beautiful right there. You have got that one nailed, buddy. And if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3300, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
300, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger. Roger that. Thank you so much for your patience, Jim. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You might write down what you find on those buttons, so it'll be easy for you to find them next time, Roger.
It'll be easy for you to find them next time, Roger. This is great. I've never really had a chance to set it up before, so I really do appreciate it, and appreciate what you do.
Thank you, sir. And also suggest that maybe you just leave your ALC meter out. You got to have something to do as you're talking to your friends and neighbors. So just leave your ALC meter out, and you know where that sweet spot is on that meter at the 2/3 point. Well, just try to hit that point as much as you can while you're talking. Now, you might have to adjust slightly your mic gain control up or down, just slightly, maybe not. But after a period of a few weeks or so, if you just concentrate on that ALC meter and your voice, you'll be able to strike a relationship there and be able to keep that meter right in the sweet spot all the time, Roger.
Keep that meter right in the sweet spot all the time, Roger. Roger that. We'll certainly give that a try. I'm seeing it right now, and yes. Okay, good. Being a novice on voice sideband, this is a good way, I guess, to get set up and give it a try and optimize the situation. So thanks once again, Jim. Really do appreciate it.
Roger, and just remember to work that mic just like you're doing right now, and keep that ALC meter out. 73 there, Bill. Good to hear from you, and we'll catch you later. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. KW4EX.
EX station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
EX station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign. Kilo Whiskey 4 Echo X-Ray.
Echo X-Ray, Roger, and what's the name there?
Echo X-Ray, Roger, and what's the name there?
Okay, the name here is Gordon, located about 40 miles north of Atlanta at Lake Lanier in Georgia.
Roger. Gordon, I've got my Georgia antenna up right now, and you look to be about 20 over, Roger.
My Georgia antenna up right now, and you look to be about 20 over, Roger.
Oh, Roger that. Well, I do hope that I'm making the trip, running about 400 watts at the moment, running the Anon 7000 radio. But just wanted to make sure that nothing has changed on my end from your ears perspective.
Roger, I went to my local antenna, and you're about 35 over, and just perfect audio, Roger.
Okay, Roger that. Well, I really do appreciate that. You've helped me set it up before and haven't changed a thing.
Roger, what radio was that?
This is the Anon 7000. It does have pretty extensive equalization characteristics, or control, I should say. And you helped me work on it. It's been a few months ago, but I haven't changed it since.
Roger, it's just beautiful. I wouldn't change a thing there. And if you want to hear it, if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3300, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. And let's see, just one other thing. Just really nice on that audio, Roger.
Oh, Roger that. Well, this is the RE320 Electro Voice microphone, and it's no external audio processing or anything in that regard, just all built into the radio, plugged straight in the front.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It just sounds really strong, and that EQ is just perfect, Roger.
Okay, real good. Well, I want it to be punchy, but I don't want to end up in our neighbor's yard, so to speak. So hopefully the pure signal is working correctly, and I'm not splattering. And anyway, I really appreciate the report.
Roger, Gordon, and you are in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, Roger?
Roger, I'm 120 on the low end and 2950 on the top end.
Yeah, I would go to 2900 and just keep that space there for avoiding somebody else's conversation getting into their conversation. So ideally I would do 100 to 2900, but at least 2900. The bottom end sounds really good, but for just making sure that you don't wander into somebody else's conversation, that's when that 2900's there, Roger.
Roger that. Yeah, I can drop it down a little bit, and I can tighten it up some. Pure signal normally does a pretty sharp cutoff, if from what I understand, looking at other waterfalls like on SVRs. But hopefully that'll keep me out of the neighbor's yard.
Yes, sir. Yes, I would do that. And it probably, frequency response wise, wouldn't make too much difference if you were in the 2950 versus the 2900. But from the expansion of the top end of your audio into another closer to somebody else's bandwidth, transmitting right next to you, 3 dB off or 3 clicks off, it could make a little difference, and it could make all the difference in the world,
Yeah. Well, I did change it back when you first mentioned that, so hopefully you won't hear anything different.
Yes, sir. I don't, and I think you're in good shape, buddy. Really good to hear from you, Roger.
Oh, Roger that. Well, I appreciate it.
And was that Lake Lanier?
Lake Lanier, yes. We're about 40 miles north of Atlanta. It's between two cities, Cumming and Gainesville, Georgia. Almost 700 miles of shoreline here, and running a loop antenna.
Roger. Now, you're running a loop antenna right now?
Yes, sir. It's an 80-meter loop, and it seems to work and behave quite well on 40 meters.
Roger. Now, what would you think your difference between direct and null point? What would you think the dB difference would be there?
Gee, I really don't know. You mean like over a dipole?
Well, a loop antenna is much more effective as a nuller than a forward gain antenna. Forward gain, you can probably only get about 3 dB when you're on target, but when you go to null, a lot of times you can hit 20 dB null that you can't even hear the station, Roger.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is a horizontal sky loop. It's not a mag loop.
I got you. Well, I thought we would play some games here and see how it went, but you'd be climbing some trees, Roger.
Yeah, it's pretty high up there, about 70 feet or so.
Yes, sir. Wherever it is and however it is, it's just perfect shot to my place, Roger.
Oh, Roger that. Well, you've got a strong signal here as well, running about 30 over. So anyway, the bands are behaving and on our side today, it looks like.
Roger, Gordon. Okay, so if you want to hear your audio, that beautiful audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. We'll take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in the series of 3300, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Roger that. I appreciate it, and I will check that out. Thank you so much for your help and for all you do for all of the hams.
Roger Gordon, 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend. I'll catch you later. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Yankee 4, Delta Mike Delta. RADIOLAND.
Had about 3 of them in there. I went to my PASDR. Loudest one come back.
I went to my PASDR. Loudest one come back.
Kilo Quebec 4, Sierra Whiskey Romeo.
Roger, Sierra Whiskey Romeo, and what's the name there?
Roger, Sierra Whiskey Romeo, and what's the name there?
My name is Gary, Golf Alpha Romeo Yankee, and I have you in Virginia at a 5-7 with excellent audio.
Thank you, Gary. And you say you're in Virginia?
Thank you, Gary. And you say you're in Virginia?
That is correct.
Alrighty. And what radio set you're running?
Yesterday.
Alrighty. And what
I
radio
was
set you're
wondering if I could get a radio check and get that YouTube address where I can listen to the voice.
Roger that. First, though, what radio is that you're running?
Roger that. First, though, what radio is that you're running?
I'm on an FTDX10, and I have a high microphone, Papa Romeo 77 Delta.
All right, Gary, why don't you give me about 10 seconds, tell me about your antenna system, and I'll see if I can find the best path for us, Roger.
And I'll see if I can find the best path for us, Roger.
Roger. Version, multi-band antenna, R6000 multi-band antenna. It does 6, 10, 12, 16, and 17. I'm on a 40-meter dipole that I made out of some 10-gauge wire for 40 meters, and that's what I'm talking on at the present time.
Roger, Gary. Okay, so probably if you're interested, we could do a little setup on that radio. First thing would be to make sure you're in that wide transmit bandwidth, 100 to 2900. Are you familiar with that?
Transmit bandwidth, 100 to 2900. Are you familiar with that?
The bandwidth?
It's called TBW, transmit bandwidth, 100 to 2900. You're not familiar with that, why don't you jot down a note to check that out. Check your TBW, transmit bandwidth. It should be 100 to 2900, and that gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. So you want to be in that wide mode, 100 to 2900, Roger?
You want to be in that wide mode, 100 to 2900, Roger?
100 to 2900. So that's a pretty big spread. How do I know if, I guess to say, I'm in somebody else's yard?
Well, that's what it is. That's what it safeguards from preventing you from being into somebody else's conversation. It gives you just a little slice of daylight there before you are. So 100 to 2900, and you might make note of that. Transmit bandwidth wide, it's called wide, 100 to 2900. And, you can just make note of that and follow that up in your book, Roger.
To make note of that and follow that up in your book, Roger.
Roger. Transmit bandwidth. Is that going to be? Are you familiar with the face of an FTDX10?
Not specifically, but I'm pointing out that it does have provisions. I'm sure that's a modern radio, the FTDX10, and it usually, like ICOM gives you three selections for your transmit bandwidth, and we recommend setting all of those to 100 to 2900. So, just grab your book there at some time later and set that transmit bandwidth to 100 to 2900. It's called wide, and it lets your transmitter perform as best it can, and then gives you just a slice of daylight to avoid getting into somebody else's conversation. Roger?
To avoid getting into somebody else's conversation. Roger?
TBW transmit bandwidth 100 to 2900, and it's called wide.
That's right, sir. So let's move on with this setup. We now go to your compressor processor, and I think you're pretty hot on your compressor processor. What we want to do is set that compressor processor on, and a 3 out of 10 or a 30 out of 100. 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100 on your compressor processor. Roger?
10 or 30 out of 100 on your compressor processor. Roger?
For my particular processor, I believe it goes 1 to 10.
So then you would want to set it on 3. Set it on 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. Roger, 30. 3 out of 10. Roger?
3 out of 10. Roger, 30. 3 out of 10. Roger?
This processor counts from off to 100. I just screwed it up, and right now it's set on 50.
Okay, so set it on 30. Set it on 30. 30 out of 100. Roger, roger.
30. Set it on 30. 30 out of 100. Roger, roger.
30 out of 100. That's it. That's where it is.
Alrighty, then move to your ALC with the mic gain in hand. And as you say the word audio, don't stress it, just say the word, elongate the front of it, and you become a human test generator. But audio, and adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is running 7 or 2/3, whichever comes first.
Is running 7 or 2/3, whichever comes first.
Audio. It's set on 7 right now as we are talking.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, pop your compressor off, your compressor processor. Just turn it off for the moment.
Your compressor processor, just turn it off for the moment.
Okay, the processor is off.
Okay, and now what I want you to do is key your transmitter, but don't talk for about 3 seconds. Just key up and silently for about 3 seconds.
Just key up and silently for about 3 seconds.
Okay, so you have interesting. Make sure that your compressor processor. Okay, so and you've got it turned off. Are you sure you've got that compressor processor turned off?
You've got it turned off. Are you sure you've got that compressor processor turned off?
PROC level off.
Okay, so you're really hot, and I can't figure out why. So take your mic gain. What's your current mic gain setting now?
All right, so take your mic gain. What's your current mic gain setting now?
Mic gain is set on 80.
Okay, take that down to 40. Take your mic gain down to about 40, Roger.
Take your mic gain down to about 40, Roger.
Okay, the mic gain is down to 40.
Okay, take it to 50. take it back up to 50.
Okay, take it to 50. Take it back up to 50.
Okay, it's up to 50. 50, 50.
Just 50. Make it 50, Roger.
Just 50. Make it 50, Roger.
Okay, make it 50. 50 it is.
All right, and then take your compressor processor off. Turn it off. See if we can make some sense of what's going on here. Dump your compressor processor off, Roger.
Dump your compressor processor off, Roger.
Processor is off.
Okay, now key up for about 3 seconds. Don't say anything. Just key for 3, Roger.
About 3 seconds, don't say anything. Just key for 3, Roger.
Yeah, that's a lot better there. Why don't you, if you would, why don't you tell me about your antenna system again there for about 10 seconds.
Antenna system again there for about 10 seconds.
The antenna that I'm on now is a dipole that I made with some wire, 10-gauge wire, and just the end that I can screw the coax cable to, and it's on a 15-foot surf rod with the end off the ground, and I've got some stakes that you use to put on your tomato plants to keep your tomato plants upright when they grow. Well, each end is tie wrapped to a stake stretched out into the widest V that I could make it.
Roger that. Do you know where your equalization page is? Your tone control page on that radio?
Your tone control page on that radio?
The mic EQ?
Yeah, but it's not in the mic, right? It's in your radio, Roger?
Yeah, but it's not in the mic, right? It's in your radio, Roger?
Yes, I have the mic. I chose not to use, this is a new radio. I've only had it for a couple months. I chose to go with the standard setup for a mic and did not use the mic EQ where it's got the high, low, and mid-range that you can adjust.
All right, so let's see. I want to go back and work on that compressor processor just a little bit. So you say that the sketching on that input control for your compressor processor is 0 to 100. Is that a Roger?
Is 0 to 100. Is that a Roger?
That a Roger? If you give me a minute, I will look this up. It'll take me just a second here to try to pull what I have up in the book that I have. I'm trying to pull that out as we speak. I'm still searching. Give me a second.
This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, And we're talking to Gary in Virginia now. He's working on his FTDX10.
Working on his FTDX10.
Yes, that is the knob that you turn. It says to press the function knob, and a bunch of, things that you can change comes up on the screen. Then it says to touch the PROC level. And there, I believe, is the speech processor. I believe that's what I'm looking at. And go to the compression meter and push the top. Adjust the function knob to set the compression level within 10 dB.
Well, it's got a input control, doesn't it? 0 to 100 input control for the input to the compressor processor.
Input control for the input to the compressor processor.
When you go to that compressor processor level, right now it's off. And if you turn it on, it goes from off to 100.
Yeah, we'll just leave it off. We're not asking too much out of that compressor anyway, so we'll just leave that off. And if you would, maybe we'll go to that equalization page, the equalizer, tone control, Roger.
The equalizer, tone control, Roger.
I'll tell you what, why don't you take some notes, take a couple of notes there. It might be better. Then you can just crank it in at your leisure when you find out how to get to certain places.
Crank it in at your leisure when you find out how to get to certain places.
I didn't use that because I'm not really that familiar with the radio. It's got more stuff in it than I know what to do with. I've only had it since Black Friday. Got a good deal on it from neighborhood candy store, ham radio outlet in Woodbridge, Virginia. Give them a shout out because they always treat me right there. But that's about it. Right now I've got it set on the standard out of the box, set on the talk, and the mic EQ is not on.
Mic EQ is off or is not off?
Mic EQ is off or is not off?
It is off. I'm using the standard setup.
Okay, well, when you get a chance, you need a little more top end for intelligibility. So that means that you need a treble boost. You need some treble boost in there to really accentuate your syllabic range so folks can hear a little clearer what you're saying. So that means you would raise your articulation level. And if we're not using your compressor, we would just be using your standard EQ controls, and you would do a +4 on treble EQ, and you can just take notes of this. +4 on your treble EQ. You'll be +4 on your treble EQ, and you'll be flat on your mids, flat on your mid-range, ±0, flat or off. And then on the bottom side would be just where you have it now. The bottom side, the bass frequency will be just equalized just like it is now. So you'll only have to consider two things. And this would not be your P controls since you're not in the processing mode. So you would be doing making sure that your treble EQ is flat or off. And then on your mid-range flat or off, and your treble will be +4 from where you are, +4 plus 4 clicks additional from where you are at the moment. Roger?
4 clicks additional from where you are at the moment. Roger?
Roger, Roger. I have the EQ on now, and I'm trying to go to the section where it shows you the frequency.
Roger, Roger. Well, you just advance your treble control. Make sure you're not on the P controls. Since we're not running the processor, you should have 2 sets of controls, one for P processor and one without. So we'll be adjusting the one without, and we'll go 4 clicks boost from on the treble control from where you are.
Boost from on the treble control from where you are.
I turn 1 on, and that is EQ2.
All right, that's your your mid-range control, and it should be off or flat on your mid-range equalizer. Roger?
On your mid-range equalizer. Roger?
Mid-range frequency is off.
Great. Okay, so then let's go to number 3 equalizer, which is a treble equalizer, I believe, and go 4 clicks boost on your treble EQ. 4 clicks boost on your treble EQ. 4 clicks hotter than where you are at the moment.
On your treble EQ. 4 clicks hotter than where you are at the moment.
I'm trying to find the
You sounded pretty good that last transmission.
Pretty good, that last transmission.
I'm trying to get to
I'll tell you, probably the easiest thing would be to take notes and then crank it in at your leisure. Roger?
any better.
Notes and then crank it in at your leisure. Roger?
Is this any better?
What did you do?
What did you do?
I've turned all of the bass, mid-range, and treble on.
Okay, then turn your mid-range off. Turn your mids off or flat, whichever comes first.
Turn your mids off or flat, whichever comes first.
Alright, the mids are off. That is EQ1. It says mid right over top.
Yeah, it should be mid EQ2. That's your treble control. It should be EQ2, I believe, and your treble is EQ3. So your mids are EQ2, and your treble is EQ3, I believe. And you adjust your treble to 4 clicks hotter than where you had it in the beginning.
4 clicks hotter than where you had it in the beginning.
I'm going to have to to the section of the book and get back to this, because this, in this radio, it has 25 different adjustments, and it's not telling me whether it's bass or treble or wherever. I've got on one says parametric EQ3, frequency, level, and bandwidth. That's all in to 3.
Okay, so why don't you take some notes there, Gary, and I'll tell you about that compressor. Half of those are in the P control. That we would use those if we were in the processor. If we were running the processor, we would use the P controls for your equalization. But since we're not using the compressor processor, we're not using the P controls in your equalizer. So that's half of it that we're not working with. We're just working with the other 12 controls. So let's do the treble first. We want to go 4 clicks hotter level-wise, push 4 clicks hotter on the treble control. Roger?
4 clicks hotter on the treble control. Roger?
Okay, I'm going to try to get to that. I can't make heads or tails.
Is the frequency occupied?
Frequency is in use. Frequency is in use.
Frequency is in use. Frequency is in use. 40 meters. 40. You're wasting your time, Jim. 40 meters.
Yeah, frequency is in use there, out there. Frequency is in use. Thanks. I think so. Gary, gosh, I've tried to give you some notes. That's what I'm only asking, that you take notes and, try to crank them in later, as opposed to trying to find something right now on the fly. Roger?
As opposed to trying to find something right now on the fly. Roger?
That's right. I need to do some more studying. Thank you for the help. I do appreciate that, and hopefully this is a little better. And I will spend some more time reading and studying on the EQ.
Roger there, Gary. Well, let me say 73 to you, sir, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And if you wanted to hear the audio right now, it's not that far off, but it could use a little more top end. But if you want to hear it like it is now, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,300, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
And I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
A little bit slower. KC9.
Call sign is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook.
9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook.
40 meters. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo. Give me the last letter.
Victor Kilo Victor. KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. Victor Kilo Victor's the last 3 letters.
Followed by the word logbook. Victor Kilo Victor's the last 3 letters.
Thank you very much. It'll be on YouTube. Go to YouTube and put in Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by logbook, and it'll be number 1 in the series of how many?
It doesn't matter. There's 3,300, but this will be the one that you'll run across first. So, then you'll be able to see this one first in the list, Roger.
To see this one first in the list, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Be uploaded.
By noon tomorrow.
By noon tomorrow.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your time. It wasn't a complete waste, as I did learn something about the radio, and I'm going to have to get into the mic EQ. So again, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo. This is Kilo Quebec 4 Sierra Whiskey Romeo. Back to net.
Roger, Roger, Gary, and my call is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. I repeat, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Roger?
9 Victor Kilo Victor. Roger.
Roger, Roger. And that will be followed by logbook.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. On a YouTube search. Roger, Roger. 73 there. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Yankee 4 Delta Mike Delta.
Delta Mike Delta Mike Delta. Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
Delta Mike Delta. Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
Yeah, it's Kilo Yankee 4 Delta Mike Delta. The name is Lucas. Lima Uniform Charlie Alpha Sierra Lucas.
Roger, Lucas. And what's your location, sir?
Roger, Lucas. And what's your location, sir?
The location is Richmond, Kentucky, just south of Lexington, Kentucky.
All right, Lucas. Let's see, KY, and what radio are you running today, sir?
KY, and what radio are you running today, sir?
The radio is a Yaesu FTDX10.
Roger, Roger. And gosh, if you'd be interested in a setup there, if you would give me about 10 seconds to tell me about your antenna system, I can look around and see if I can find a better copy on this. Roger, Roger.
I can look around and see if I can find a better copy on this. Roger, Roger.
Yeah, that'd be great. I appreciate the help. It's about 575 feet long and about 20 feet up in the air. Homemade antenna made with a 9-to-1 balun and about 575 feet of wire.
Roger, I just went to my local antenna. You're about 25 over, so just a beautiful signal there. And if you're interested in this setup, the first thing would be to be sure that you're in that wide transmit bandwidth, TBW, wide 100 to 2900. That will allow your transmitter to be all it can be and then give you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation.
Roger, I'm on 100 to 2900 now.
Excellent, excellent. So the next thing would be to move to your processor and on at 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Processor on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100.
Okay, that's on 30. I was previously on 15, but that's up to 30 there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, you become a human test tone generator. So you want to say audio just at the level that you normally would speak on any other QSO. Don't say it, just stress it. And adjust your mic level until your ALC meter is running 2/3. Roger?
Yes, sir. Audio. Audio. Audio.
That look good for you?
That brought down the mic gain quite a bit there.
Yes, sir. Sounds really clean, really clean. Now, tell me about the best thing you like about your radio.
I love a lot of things about the radio, but it's honestly my first HF radio that I've ever had, so I don't have a lot to compare it to other than the HF radio I use for POTA. But I love the receive on the radio, and Also enjoy the external monitor display. But it's been a good radio to learn on for me, being my first real HF radio.
Roger, roger. Now, do you know how to get to your equalizer or your tone control page?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go there.
So I'm running the processor, so I'll adjust the P parametric EQ, correct?
Yes, sir. And we want that mid EQ off or flat. The mid EQ, number 2, off or flat. Roger?
Okay, so the EQ2 is 900 hertz. I've currently got it set on 3. And so that is 0 there. Moved it down from 3 to 0.
Okay, on your attenuation or boost?
Yeah, on the level of EQ2, have it on 0.
Great, great. Now let's go to number 3, your treble control. And you can adjust the frequency of that, Roger?
Yeah, it's currently on 2400 hertz and the level 9.
Okay, we want to move that up to 2700. 2700 on that control. Roger, roger?
Okay, it's on 2700 and level 9, and I've got the bandwidth on 1.
Okay, move the bandwidth to 4. Bandwidth to 4, roger?
Okay, that is 2700, level 9, bandwidth 4 on EQ3.
Roger. What's the max boost on 3 that you can go?
I can go one more click to 10.
All right, go ahead to 10.
Okay, there is level 10.
And you're sure your equalizer is on, Roger?
Yeah, processor is on, and I'm adjusting P parametric equalization.
Yes, sir. And what mic is that you're using?
This is the Heil PR781 microphone.
Is that a desk mic?
No, it's a XLR boom mic.
Okay, same difference, more or less. So let's go back in there to your equalizer, and on your bass control, number 1, we want to set that to minus 2 clicks from where you are, minus 2 clicks from where you are, and a width of 4 on that. Minus 2 clicks from where you are, and a width of 4.
Okay, I had it on the width of 2, and I increased it to 4, and I went on level from minus 5 to minus 7, and it's on 200 hertz.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Roger. I wish we could get some more top end, but are you running any kind of windscreen on that mic?
No, I don't have a windscreen on it.
Okay, so I guess it just that's all we can get. But well, gosh, it would be nicer if we had a little more top end. We might drop that down to a 2600 instead of 2700.
On the EQ3 frequency, drop it to 2600.
Roger, roger.
Okay, that's 2600.
Okay, then drop 2 more clicks on number 1 EQ, your bass control. Roll 2 more clicks down. Attenuate 2 more clicks, Roger.
Okay, so EQ1 level is now minus 9.
Okay, and your width of 4?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and tell me about your radio, the best thing you like about it.
Yeah, like I was saying, love the radio. It's the first HF rig that I've had, and it's been a good radio to learn on for me, and really like to receive. I do a lot more listening than I do talking, but I do have a fairly deep voice, and the room I'm in is it's a garage with center block walls and concrete floors, so it's a little bit echoey in here, so sometimes I get some feedback that I have a little bit of echo.
I can't hear it. It's clean at just the way you're working that mic. I would work it just like that. Let's see. And make sure if you have a monitor function, make sure that's off, because that monitor function will just generate a signal by itself and just distort your regular audio. So make sure any kind of speaker output as you're talking is terminated or off. Roger?
Yeah, roger, roger. Does it still not have enough top end? Does it still sound too bassy?
No, it sounds good from the bass up to the mid-range, but that sparkle right at the top just isn't quite there, and should be, quite dominant with you running a plus 10 EQ on that number 3, Roger. Make sure that it's on. Make sure it's on and plus 10.
Yep, I got the processor on and I've got it level set to plus 10.
Roger. Well, it's very nice and it's very clear. It's just, to my estimation, it could use just a little bit more top end. But why don't you just maybe check it out and see what you think? It might be another mic in your future. I don't know if it means much to you. So what I would suggest is go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook on a YouTube search, and it'll come to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,300, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Yeah, thanks so much for your help. I sincerely appreciate it. I did talk to you one time before when I first got this radio with a different microphone, and you helped me out then too, but at the time I was unfortunately not really prepared to adjust the settings, so I studied up before I called you this time, but I really appreciate your help. It's been great. So have a great weekend, 73.
Roger there. Lucas, I can't even read my own writing. It sounds good, sir. I think you'll love it. Like I said, your signal to me is 20-25 over. Very, very clear, very good. So 73, and we'll catch you later. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Your time's up.
Hey, my time is up, Buttercup. Yes, thank you, Elmer. I could not see the clock on the wall because there was a dead fly. Ooh. That being said, we got to get out of here and return this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, clear.
This has been a good afternoon, Jim. KG4WQQ.
QQ, how's it going today, sir?
All right, how about yourself?
Yes, sir. I'm getting ready to jump out of here and go fishing, Roger.
Go fishing? Where you at go fishing at?
Oh, well, there's a whole wealth of places. I don't go to the same one twice, Roger.
Well, where I'm at, it's a little too cold to be going fishing.
Roger. Well, you got to have dedication, just like CV operation. You can only work on your antennas outside when it's 30 below, Roger.
Oh, no. I got to stay and hug a heater. I definitely got to stay and hug the heater.
All right, sir. I'm recording you, but I'll cut you out, Roger.
I understand. How'd you like that video I sent you the other week?
Yes, sir. I really enjoyed that. That really hit the spot, Roger.
Yep, I've been working on it, and I'm still working on it to improve it more.
Yes, sir. Now, me, see, I'm the opposite situation. I'm running no filtering, no noise reduction. I just like it is. Well, I don't avail myself of any of those options because I want to try to keep it as legitimate as it is, Roger.
Yeah, well, when I record, I don't use any filters or anything. I might use a noise blanker or the A&F to cut out unwanted tune-ups, but I don't use any all them effects or anything when I record.
Roger, how wide is your receive front end, would you think?
My receive front end, I can receive as up as 28 kcs away. But right now I'm transmitting at 3K and receiving at 2950.
Roger. Well, it really sounded good. I thought you might have been running some filtering there because it was so clean, Roger.
Well, now I am running a little
Little rack gear. I'm running a little rack gear here, but I changed up the way I was running this Apache Lab and went and done it with what they call CM-ASIO. So the CM-ASIO then opened up my VAC equalization there to use it for something else in the radio, which I've got it tied to the amplifier, so the amplifier can use that VAC system now, and it follows me around, which is a great thing. But yeah, I'm doing the CM-ASIO software stuff for the Apache Lab radio.
Roger, Roger. Yeah, it just sounded just a little bit restrictive as far as my frequency response that I'm actually doing. You know, my monitor system is subwoofer, you know, audio system with a subwoofer, and so we're monitoring with that 7300, which it has down to 100 cycles, and then the monitor system, audio monitoring system, house system, is down to, with that subwoofer, about 40 cycles. Roger, Roger.
Okay, we'll fix the low cycle in and get it where we won't thump you so hard. How's that? That better for you?
You're great. However you do it, just sounds great.
Well, all I did was take the low side down to 40, and I left the high at 2950.
Roger that. Well, it just sounds beautiful. However you slice it, you know. I wish you would listen to your audio. Give me permission to put it on, but I think you'd really be impressed. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yes, sir. I've heard it, and I've heard it several times. I got a group of guys that they say, "Now listen to that, Richard." And I listen to it, and I'm like, "Okay, now let's make this change, Richard." And I said, "Okay." And then they say, "Don't do nothing else. Leave it alone." So that's what I once it's said, I don't mess with it no more, Jim.
Yes, sir. Well, most people don't run their receiver correctly, you know, as far as I'm concerned, because, you know, we're trying to protect the integrity of what's really happening. So the input level on that into the 7300 is way down. It's not up to where your S meter will work. I can only guesstimate by the VU meter that I have tied to the audio as to the signal, because we set 0 on the voice level on the monitor system, and then when they cease speaking, I'm looking at noise, the noise that's left when they're not speaking, and that's, you know, whatever it is. Right now for you, it's like you're 20 over my local noise level, Roger.
Well, that's a good thing, I guess. I mean, that's what you're running here, 20, 25 over on me. So, you know, and we're trying to keep maintain the 60 hertz on the transmit side of it there. Because, you know, a lot of people can't hear or see the 60 hertz, but the radio can.
Oh, that's a Roger. That's a Roger. And the other thing about setting RF gain control in the receiver is that you don't want it to suck up between words or after the transmission is over. It just kind of hovers down there at the low end of the VU meter. The VU meter doesn't suck up to 0. So, like I say, that's all about RF gain control. Roger.
Yeah. Well, I don't have but 2 dBs of audio coming out of the radio. And that's all the louder I need to do it. If I get it any more mic gain on it, and 2, it gets a little distorted. But you know, if you have a pad adapter, you'll see that nice straight cut razor edge I'm putting down. I still won't blow it out.
Yes, sir. Roger, Roger. Well, you know, I suggest that 2900. It just is a little bit more insurance as far as not getting into somebody else's conversation. It can't be probably anything worse than to have somebody out there on the sidebands getting chatter that shouldn't be. So that's why I suggest the 100 to 2900. Roger.
Yeah, I understand that. I do, and there's some of those out there that just don't care, and they got to keep everything to the right. And you've had a couple of them that comes in here that you help them set them up, and then they get off on another band, and they go right back to doing what they was doing, turning everything to the right. And then when they go to splattering out, you tell them they're going up the band. No, it ain't. I done been down there and got my audio sent by so-and-so and such and such. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I know what I'm hearing. And, a lot of guys, a lot of amateur radio operators that transmit, they don't understand about when they splatter up the band, that it's actually to check them. You need to go in the upper sideband to check them. You don't just go up the band, the KCs away from them, because you won't hear them. But if you'll go up the upper sideband right here where you are, if they're splattering, you can hear them up there on the upper sideband.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we do the best we can, man. I'm going to have to get out of here and say 73 to you. I wish you'd let me record you, though.
You already got me a couple times, Jim. I don't need you again. But I do appreciate it. And you go ahead, you can put it out there just word for word the way I've got it. It don't matter. You said you were recording it, so hang it out there. Maybe somebody will listen to what I have to say, and maybe they'll understand what's going on with their radio some more.
Exactly. And, I've cut you out twice now, and, third time I want to take you. So let me say 73 there. What's the name there, QQ?
4WQQ, Richard down here in Alabama. And Jim, looks like we got somebody that's kind of moved in on us, so, and they probably are used to getting in here after you get off. So let me let you go. We'll say 73s for now, and catch you up with you another time for sure. KG4 WQQ 73.
Roger, QQ 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend, and we got to get out of here. And just if anybody's participated, want to hear their audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3300, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. And with that being said, we got to get out of here and return the frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV Clear.